Hello there and welcome to my channel. It's Kate again, Kate in the Nest, and I hope you are well and thanks for popping in. I'm filming at an unusual time for me. It's dark outside, so if the light looks a little bit different, that's why, because I can't see anything outside, but I haven't stitched today and no day this day is complete. So just before I settle down, I thought I'd show you how I've moved on, and I don't mean permanently, moved on from my smaller tags that I've showed you recently. I think I showed you that I made tags and then I ended cutting them up and putting on other pieces. So I've I'm doing something which you may already do, which is new for me, and I'm personally loving it. So I thought I'd share, and it is to do with scraps and little tiny pieces. So we use them in, snippet rolls and, as I said, in what I call tags. But I've come back to the notion of what I use in journaling. In my paperwork, my favorite thing to do for ephemera is to start with a big piece of cardboard or, not cardboard, but card, and then layer it with all my paper bits and torn bits and then chop it up. So I'm using exactly that mindset with this piece. So I started with a piece of blanket and I layered, and now I think I've told you how much I love. I'm probably just a slow learner. I love having a bigger piece in my lap more than a tiny piece. I just haven't got dainty fingers. So if we have a quick look at this, these are fabrics that you would have all seen before in various parts of my work. But instead of having a purpose behind them, I've just laid them down, followed a little bit of a color scheme and using the threads of the moment, and then starting to embroider over the top and just try mark making and anything else that jumps. So this is new for me. Haven't used, this is my quilt, this is fabric that I use mostly in journals on covers and things like that. So, and I'm going to be making some of those very soon again and popping them on my website because ironically that's what I was doing before I started YouTubing. So it's all little bits, and my intention is to love each of the little quarters, and then they're not even quarters but randomly chop, or I might have a bigger quilt that this will just pop into, not as a block itself, but part of the integration. So that's the integration. See, I can't speak. So it's been a big day, but this is happy, happy place. And I'm going to slow down. So what I thought I'd do with you right now is, because I'm been embellishing this for a little while and I want to start a fresh piece. So I went to my scrap or leftovers, as you know I like to call them, leftover pieces of blanket, and this one was just sitting there. It's the end of obviously me tearing bigger strips for another work. So I thought, well, that's the size it's going to be. So the scrap or the remnant dictates. And then I've gathered, for me it's funny, I'm looking that I shared my haul, and all of a sudden I've been influenced to go back and to try some neutrals and naturals. So here we go. I have just gone over and found some pieces that have been harvested and used before, with the emphasis on, natural neutral. Now that's a beautiful lyrebird that someone has told me they love and collect. I won't use that crochet bit, obviously, but I like this trim and this, it's stained. I don't know whether you can see that, but I like that. This is a piece of the the beautiful tablecloth that I added to my Roxy's Christmas table runner, and it has this beautiful interplay of the white with beige stitching and then this other work. So I've used this in a lot of pieces, and you know, there's a dangle already sitting there. So I'm hoping if you have done this before, this is what you do, or if you haven't tried, you're just thinking, oh, I could just go and get, I sort by colour now, my remnants, and there's a piece of undone embroidery with cross stitches. I always love that effect. I've got, this is left over from, I'm using much of the embroidery off this piece in my quilts. Then I've got a little motif like that, other little scraps, and then this fell onto my desk the other day, and I think I exclaimed and said, oh, I don't know that I'd shown you that, because I keep finding things that I've gathered and I haven't had time to put away. But that in itself is an absolute gem. Just, there's beads, everything that makes my heart sing. So all of those are somehow going to go onto this piece, and I've got this, is it Netlex? It must be. I'm starting to use this all the time. I'm actually doing a little bit more now in this type of piece of the traditional approach, and stitching it down with tiny stitches, tiny on top and long underneath, just to get it a little bit flatter. In my other pieces, they evolve and I start in the corner, like on a quilt, and go down, or whatever direction I feel like, or from the center. But these, I'm finding if I lay it out a bit more, see, there's some different fabrics and French knots, and you know, that could end up being, I added those French knots last night to that little leaf. I've not done that before, and I really like that effect. You know, we can harvest, etc. So remember, I don't want to destroy. I'm making with the idea of chopping it up. So I told you about the cotton. I've actually pre-threaded, and I've got a few remaining pins in there. Okay, so let's just start placing. So I hope you are having a lovely time, whatever you're doing. Just on this piece, I'm deliberately leaving it all frayed and that seam there, because that's interesting, and that might become a tag automatically with some embroidery. Beautiful linen. And you can make your pieces, of course, as big or as small as you want. In fact, if I put that there, it's both covering and giving interest. Let's go for a bit of this. You ever get surprised at how that piece before was hard to tear, and then this piece was just really easy. Now I was just thinking it's often nice to have a piece twice. If this was to be a block, for example, but well, we've got the same scrap out, we may as well Now I better check. Can you see all of this? Yeah, it's quite pale compared to my usual work, but I'm hoping that you can see the differentiation once we look on the camera. In fact, I think we'll do that one there. Then another piece of this. I like this. Have I started to bead the other piece yet? No, I haven't, so I can't show you that. Look at this little interesting bit. And this is, I have to say, this was a huge tablecloth that I came across early in my collection, and there's just still meters and meters of it left. Now that's a bit see-through, so I could, and I will, not yet, put that somewhere. I love this colour, so stained. So of course I could see this, it's making 6 or 8 separate tags at a time as well, but I'm not. Remember, we don't like things in, you know, at the same level when we join, when we collage. I think I need some other, oh, I know what I've got. Just got a sketch. This is a little bit of my, again, quilting. Why do I keep saying quilting? It's quilter's type of material. What does that say? Inspire. Like that, and we'll have another piece. Another piece on the edge here. Okay, what else have we got left? I've got this. That is so special. But you know, I may not, but I could. You know what my eyes have just spied? In the middle of all of this is a green bead. So do you know that already by doing this, I'm thinking that this, I won't cut this side up. I'll work it in these colours because that is too precious a piece. And yeah, just by laying something like that over. But I am liking the possibilities of that, seeing that stitching through and then putting something. So that's just thinking. I'm feeling like we need to go a bit faster. So what about if I put this big piece here across the top? yet more efficient if I put that there. I love that edge though. Collaging is so much fun. So I've got this piece that could come down. Let's pop that onto there. Not quite sure actually about this one yet. Let me see what else I've got around. Sometimes it takes more than you think. Oh, that's beautiful. Don't need that. Oh, look at that one. Even that's could go somewhere. I've got this braid, and I will use that as a embellishment, but not quite. Oh, where's that? This. So that flower now is going to talk to that flower. Yep, that's the right way. I'm going to leave that there for the moment because it can be embroidered to join together. So I've got rid of that gap except for there. You can always slip something little. Remember this lace, this hanky? I've used it not that long ago. That's that. I'll just neaten this up a bit. So interesting under the lights. I can see the stains more clearly. Which makes me joyous that they were loved very much before they arrived in my nest. Okay, that. It's like doing a jigsaw. Except then we do the corners first, wouldn't we? Oops. My beautiful, my little flower bowls. This is the leftover from that bigger piece of embroidery, and I love that this cross stitching is still on it. question is that getting lost? And it may well be. So next time you see this, that may well have been saved for another piece. Actually, I don't want to lose that seam. So here's a story. These cross stitches going to here, and then this lace over the edge. I'm just looking around. That I just saw that one in a nest. Let it hang off. Anything else up here? For contrast? No, I think I'm going to keep it very look at that. So where do we need another bit of interest over here? Oh, look, perfect. Yeah, there we go. I've still got a little bit of this. Which I just feel should be a bit shorter. And I'm actually thinking no. More like that. Okay, so that's where I'm up to, gathered around me. I've got all these other things, not that pink flower, that can go onto this. I intend to embroider in 4-ply wool of that colour. Oh, I've got that spare. Or did that just come up? You will know and I don't, because I haven't pinned all that. So 4-ply and neutrals, crochet, and of course my gold of the moment. So there we are. That's just a little come and play with me type of video, because I feel happy as a result of going through that process. I feel inspired with what I'm going to do next, and I hope you are wondering how it will all turn out. So at some time or place I will be back. Oh, I wanted to use that. Yep. There we are. Tuck that under and over there. Okay. I'm going to leave it there. I hope that was fun for you. Like standing up, I can see the contrasts in colour. And just remember, this started out as the inspiration for being chopped up like a masterboard, which it still may be. So with that in mind, I want to say thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of the time wherever you are and whatever you're up to. So Kate in the Nest saying bye until next time. Bye.